What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Gigabyte Challenge number 8. This is going to be the last game of the day. We have best of 1 between Aftershock Gaming and Kompas Gaming. Here on HeflaTV 1, I'm going to be one of your casters, and it's going to be Grandis V this time who's going to be joining me.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of the other games that were supposed to be on HeflaTV 2 actually got played, as they were all either postponed or forfeited or what have you. So I haven't actually seen any games from the Gigabyte Challenge, besides the ones that you've been casting. Aftershock Gaming, never seen them play, and honestly their names aren't very familiar to me, so it's going to be a new experience, and I'm interested to see how they're going to perform. Up against Kompas Gaming, who are pretty well known in the scene, and I don't know, I'm definitely a lot more familiar with their faces.
Yeah, Kompas just came off of a win, whereas Aftershock just came off of a walkover free win, so they didn't actually play today, I don't think, in this. So Kompas Gaming a little bit more warmed up, and well, I think also this is going to be a weird case where I don't think you've casted that many .82 games.
I have not. Just
either.
One, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So we still both don't really know what's going on with this, but we do see Terrorblade banned out first. Lycan ban, I think, it's just kind of force of habit at this point. I really don't think he's a good hero anymore, or not as good.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he warrants the pick, for sure. The death ball push that he's really into has been nerfed, and directly his ultimate is arguably very bad right now. It just can't get you out of jail free like it used to, where you just get the instant mass movement speed. It's still going to be nice in the team fights for some extra damage, but honestly, there are some other heroes that would suit better the playstyle currently. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure how this game is going to work out, and it's going to be a new experience for me, but for now, I think teams are still sort of in that adjustment period, where they're still kind of in the 6.81 mindset, and where they're going to bring heroes from there. So first pick Razor, although he did get nerfed a little bit, is still pretty strong, and they'll go ahead and pick what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, the Terrorblade pickup is the only one that's really .82-esque. He is a new addition to Captain's Mode, and that metamorphosis is just so devastating. We saw it in the game earlier. You have to constantly kill off the Terrorblade. If you don't, he's probably just going to get way too big, and you're not going to be able to do too much about it. So Terrorblade is going to be the first one to ban. I don't think we're going to be seeing Legion. I want to. I haven't seen her yet, but she got nerfed and added into Captain's Mode, so it's kind of hard to pick her up after that.
The nerf is very slight, and honestly, I think she deserves a little bit higher place in the metagame. Other picks that are starting to rise in popularity, Spectre, I'd love to see as a carry of choice for either of these teams, but first pick for Kompas Gaming is going to be a Naga Siren. Very interesting. Naga, not one that I would expect to be picked up this early. I'm not sure how they plan on utilizing Naga Siren, but currently there's not a big team fight coming out from Aftershock to disjoint. Naga Siren's song is obviously always going to be a good spell, but if you're picking up this early, I'd expect this to be a farming Naga.
Yeah, me too. If you wanted a support Naga Siren, you could definitely get her a little bit later, or you could pick up any other hero who has, for the most part, replaceable effects or substitutable effects from the Naga Siren. So if you pick her up this early, it means you want to have her farming potential. And in this metagame, where it's going to be a lot slower, where teams are going to be very cautious, Naga Siren will have a lot of time to get going. If she gets her Radiance, Heart Up, what have you, then suddenly all the lanes from Aftershock are being pushed in, and Naga Siren's going to have the time of her life. Secondary to that, it's going to be Nature's Prophet, and then the Timbersaw response from the Aftershock side. So, you know, Naga Siren, she wants a lot of space, but with the Timbersaw and Razor opening, Aftershock can certainly restrict the farming space of Naga.
Definitely. I mean, one of the other benefits of picking up the Naga Siren this early is that if the draft does progress in the same direction that Aftershock are going, and just playing incredibly aggressively, Naga Siren can fall back and playing that more support role if they want to get other things to combo with it. Timbersaw is the next pick for Aftershock, an offlaner that really fell out of popularity, but I think he's really strong now. He's an offlaner that definitely can farm up well, and get that Aghanim Scepter, and the double Chakram does a ridiculous amount of damage. If you're able to get that online, and even without the double Chakram, he's still as solid as ever. And especially on the Dire side now, the offlane's quite a bit easier with the extra Duke paths in the offlane. Although it allows you to be ganked a little bit better, it is still pretty solid for them, and then the lane equilibrium changes also are going to benefit them. So yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this Timbersaw pick. Despite there not being any strength heroes on the enemy team, it's still going to be a pretty huge damage source for Aftershock.
Yeah, I saw the effects of the Aghanim's Timbersaw last game. That was a ton of damage that the Chakrams put out together. It's pain on the mana pool for sure, but if you have a Bloodstone with, you know, 9+ charges, you're going to be doing just fine. And people are going to be very, very unhappy, especially if they're soft heroes like Naga Siren, Nature's Prophet. If you go on them as Timbersaw, they're very quickly going to drop, and, well, second ban phase is out, and we have a lot of hate towards the supports, as neither side really picking up too many supports just yet. I don't really think supports are going to be, I mean, there's not too many huge supports that I would say right now are still in the pool. Keeper of the Light,
Ooh.
That's not what I expected at all.
Not at all. And then the instant pick Lich, also fairly peculiar, although not as peculiar as the Keeper of the Light. I don't know, Keeper in pubs he's seen a little bit more, especially now that Phantom Lancer is a thing, but since he's not in Captain's mode, the Keeper of Light, it's going to be pretty solid for them, although I'm not sure if the extra counter push is really going to be necessary. The split pushing coming out from Kompas Gaming is going to be pretty ridiculous, with the Nature's Prophet global teleporting and dragging Nagasarn across the map and just defending high ground for as long as they want to. Kompas Gaming looking to drag this game very late with this pick, and they might just get another third greedy core. Honestly, I'm not sure if they really want to do anything else, as with the Keeper of the Light, you can't really get very many kills early on with your two supports.
You need something like a Shadow Demon or a Vengeful Spirit in order to set up for an Illuminate, but Morphling is going to be the pick for Kompas. I was going to say that they didn't have many heroes that were super greedy as far as mana is concerned. They still don't, really. Like, Keeper of the Light Morphling is okay. Keeper of the Light Naga Siren is exceedingly average. But, yeah, Keeper of the Light mostly going to be used, I think, for his ultimate in this game, which is very weird to see. There's not much that they have to counter push, as you said before. The mana pools aren't going to be so desperately in need of mana for Kompas as other heroes, so they just really want to get a lot of mobility, a lot of global potential. And with the Morphling pickup, combining his ultimate, the Replicate, along with the Recall, along with the Teleportation, along with just the global map presence of Naga Siren, or the spread out map presence of Naga Siren, they're going to apply a lot of pressure to pretty much the entire map at the exact same time.
Yeah. If Kompas Gaming get off to a slow start, they might find themselves in a situation where their lanes are really clumped. It's hard for them to find farm. But then again, if you're running up against heroes that are very strong and get comfortable on the map, get a large streak rolling, you can get a lot of gold for that and turn the game on its head very quickly. Even with the changes that we saw this morning with the adjusted numbers on those streaks, it's still pretty ridiculous how much the game can turn on its head. It's not as bad as it was, but now Aftershock, they have another hero to pick up. The Lich is very interesting to see this early on. It's going to secure them a pretty solid lane for themselves, and the armor is going to be very useful with the Timbersaw as well as a Razor, even just the extra bit of survivability. And Ogre Magi coming out from Aftershock, I absolutely love this pick, although it doesn't synergize that well with the Lich as your other support. It's going to give them a decent aggressive potential, even with just that one hero.
Oh man, the new Ogre Magi is a tank. He is so much regen now, just at level 1, and usually that's not very relevant, but when you're playing super aggressive hero like Ogre Magi, that change is huge. And also, getting more consistent damage from his multicast is going to be very nice as well. I think for Kompas, actually, the Keeper of the Light and Naga Siren might be the support duo. The two together can set up for an Illuminate, or targeted Illuminate, and it's ultimately not the worst, so I would expect Kompas Gaming to pick up another core after this. But Aftershock, Ogre Magi, Lich, they're kind of on different sides of the spectrum. Ogre Magi very aggressive, whereas Lich a little bit more defensive. No matter how they decide to ultimately play it out, they probably should be looking for kills in some way, whether it's just in lane or roaming around very heavily. Their heroes are capable of getting the early kills, and they should be looking for it, because a late game Morphling is a little bit too much for Aftershock to deal with.
Yeah, even just late game Nature's Prophet, Kompas Gaming are going to be very comfortable taking this one to the later portions of the game, and even if they start that Naga Siren out as a support, if you do get a little bit of extra farm, you can transition pretty hard into a carry. Maybe not going for the Radiance, but picking up something along the lines of Diffusal Blade, Mantis Style, just anything to help your team out. It is going to be a puck last for Kompas Gaming, so it is going to secure your Naga Siren and Keeper of the Light as your two supports. But Puck is going to give them a pretty decent teamfight hero of its own, but honestly, I'm not sure if this Naga Siren really feels like it fits in their lineup. Honestly, I think they should have waited a little bit further on in the draft until they picked it up. But yeah, Puck's still a really solid hero all around, despite not seeing very many changes in the last patch. He doesn't really need it.
You ready for this? We get Puck in the game, getting Blink Dagger, doing normal Puck things, and then he gets Aghanim Scepter, right? And then Keeper of the Light uses Blinding Light, and then suddenly everyone's going to get wrecked.
Yeah, with the stun going through BKB, and what's that disable actually? It's pretty significant. The break stun I think is 4 seconds with Aghanim Scepter going through BKB. That's actually a synergy that I hadn't thought of. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's something interesting to see, and this might actually be the first game where I actually like a Puck Aghanim Scepter. Is that upgrade used to be really awful, but yeah, that's a very significant change that we might see actually have an impact in this game. Currently, Aftershock, thinking about their last hero, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm presuming it's going to be either a mid or safe lane farming hero, and Razor will take up whichever spot is, I don't know, opposite to that one. I'd expect also a hero to be pretty decent as a solo laner, and there you go, Templar Assassin pick for Aftershock Gaming. Probably going to be taking up the mid position versus Puck, a pretty decent matchup for Templar Assassin.
Yeah, she's going to have a very nice time there, and she'll be able to contribute quite a bit in those early game ganks. If she gets in close for a single meld hit on a Puck or any refraction hits, that's going to be a very easy kill for the roaming potential of Aftershock. Also, Ogre is going to be getting some pretty nice value off of Bloodlust this game. A Bloodlusted Templar Assassin is freaking scary, man. Like, you never want to be going up against that. So, but we'll see how Aftershock actually do manage to lane it out, as we are now in the last game of the day, guys. We have, on the Aftershock side, Maomi going to be playing the Lich with Zeroji on the Ogre Magi. Mind Control is going to be playing the Razor going up towards top with Slavi on the mid lane TA. That leaves bottom lane Kefka on the Timbersaw.
And on the Radiant side, we're going to have Kompas Gaming with 4 heroes down in bottom. Currently start things off with Goddamn playing on the Naga Siren, presumably supporting BSM on the Keeper of Light, also in a similar role, with Stray on the Puck, probably going to back off towards mid, and the Morphling played by Artis, leaving last but not least our Nature's Prophet by Gorik. They might catch eyes on this Timbersaw, but I doubt they'll be able to find the kill. Timbersaw is decently tanky and has Timber Chain if things get really sketchy. They don't have a great way to lock him down at all, and Timbersaw should be able to get a decent amount of this lane. Although the zoning potential coming out from these supports is going to be pretty solid. I don't know, just with the Illuminate spam as well as right clicks from Keeper of Light. They do get a pretty solid D-ward on the Dire Observer ward that was placed by the Timbersaw, so denying him that vision of these two supports is going to be pretty useful for PSM to get the angles on those Illuminates, as well as offering them the ability to pull. Currently the rune down in bottom is being sat on by the Radiant team, and Dire get control over the top rune.
Alright, so Goddamn has a sword that counts his 3 hero Riptides, and it's currently at 0. So we're going to make sure that it's a lot higher than that, otherwise it's a failure in an August Siren game, because your gems aren't being leveled up or not being filled with numbers. So yeah, that's going to be very relevant, and well, it looks like it's actually going to be dual lanes for Aftershock. Lich Timbersaw is actually a pretty good one. Top lane with just Ogre Magi being the support is not really going to be able to pressure back Gorek that much, but a single Fire Blast into a static link could very easily kill off the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, Razor can handle this lane pretty effectively by himself, and it'll leave Ogre a little bit of room to roam. They are going to start it with a mana leak onto the Timbersaw. Chains over, but he does get stunned by that, taking a lot of damage. They won't be able to secure that kill, although Kefka, completely tapped out of the mana, is going to be, I don't know, not too happy with how this is going. They do have a clarity on Maomi, and probably going to hand that the way of Kefka, but still Timbersaw starting off in a very awkward situation. That early point to Mana Leak is actually a lot stronger now than it was, and I'm glad that they went for it. Currently in mid, we do have Goddamn going towards a Templar Assassin. Can't really do that much, although will zone her out and force a little bit more regen to be used by Slavi.
I'm not really too sure why Kefka used Timber Chain there. It seems like he would have been just fine, but he just depleted literally his entire mana pool using Timber Chain after the Mana Leak. Not a good idea, so now he's going to be very, very poor on mana. There is 1 clarity, and the Lich is going to use that for himself. So Timbersaw pretty much has 0 threat in this lane at all. He does have a magic stick. Yeah, now he has a magic stick, so he'll be able to get something. But Artis on the bottom lane is not going to be scared at all, knowing that the Timbersaw is completely tapped out of mana. So Morphling and company are going to be feeling very safe up here. I think that level 1 Mana Leak might have just secured them this bottom lane, as Kefka now, he could duke it out with Goddamn, and he could do so okay with the reactive armor. Goddamn actually taking quite a bit of damage. Where's the Morphling in all of this one? The Naga Siren's going to take a little bit of damage, as will the Timbersaw, but they'll both be safe to restore ups and, you know, get back up to full.
Artis was dealing with creeps under his tower while the pull was going on, which is going to succeed over to the Mud Golems, and that'll kill, I believe, all of these creeps. And if nothing else, we'll just take that experience away from the Timbersaw. But they're also doing the same thing to the Morphling with the Lich, denying 1 creep each wave. Bounty Rune goes the way of the Puck. Bottom Rune, didn't see you pick that up. I believe it was Keeper of Light, and it was an illusion for him. Not the most impactful rune, but will allow him to clean up the rest of that medium camp. Currently, the Ogre has been fairly passive in the way that he's done this lane. Can't really do much as Nature's Prophet sitting pretty far back. So yeah, Gorik is looking just fine, and a passive early start. I'm not sure where I expect First Blood to happen. right now, it's all going to be up to who makes a mistake. Currently, Timbersaw is going to be netted up. He does have a Timber Chain, but is going to take the mana leak and taking a lot of damage. Right clicks will be enough, giving the first blood to Artis. Finding that in the bottom lane, and Kefka, I don't know, just staying around a little too long. Goddamn is going to take a lot of damage and probably be forced all the way back to base. And Maomi is almost completely tapped out of mana. Has one more deny, but still big win for Kompas Gaming.
Yeah, they get the first blood on the board. Morphling is the one to take that one as well. So lots of gold for him, and really showing the amount of power that they can put onto this Timbersaw. Even though Timbersaw did have mana to get a chain out, simply not enough. I would actually like to see Zeroji's Ogre Magi rotate down here, and then Aftershock just play super aggressively down the bottom lane. Or that's what I would have said before they lost first blood. Now I think it might not be the smartest move, but before that, if they put the heat, turn up the heat on the Morphling, they could probably get away with it. Like, Timbersaw's able to put out some decent damage if he has mana, but right now the Ogre Magi is pretty much not doing anything, and well, the Lich in Timbersaw lane is doing okay. It's nothing too impressive, as once again, Goddamn is going to start warding everyone away. There's the net Illuminate, not charged up just yet. They're actually just going to get the Mana Leak stun on the Lich, and with the waveform forward, this is going to be the death of the Lich. They don't even need a waveform, never mind. Naga Siren's going to take that kill.
Yeah, it's going to be another kill going the way of Kompas Gaming, and honestly, this Ogre Magi probably could have been any other support with what he's been doing. I would have probably preferred a Sand King with the way he's been playing, just kind of chilling inside his own jungle, not really zoning out the Nature's Prophet at all. He'd be able to get a little bit more out of this lane. They're currently rotating the Lich up towards top. It'll deny a little bit more experience with Nature's Prophet, but just throwing Timbersaw to the dogs here. Timbersaw can't really get much out of this lane, and that's not going to change for quite a large portion of this game. And as an offlaner, Timbersaw needs a little bit more than others before he fully gets online. Level 6, and hopefully for him, Arcane Boots and potentially Soul Ring.
Yeah, this Lich rotation up to the top lane, though it is like a better move for the Lich himself, like he's not able to do much with the Timbersaw down bottom. I don't think the Lich is actually going to be doing anything versus the Nature's Prophet. I mean, he's already level 4, the Nature's Prophet. He's going for the 2 Null Talismans at the very least build. So the Nature's Prophet is already in a pretty good spot right now, and Lich Ogre Magi, as deadly as it is, might be a little bit too late. They're going to go for Timbersaw once again, try to force out the Timber Chain. Waveform is going to bring him down very low. There's the Timber Chain attempt. He's going to wait, first of all, for everything to happen, and actually keep the light off to the side. We'll go down to that one, so diving tier 1 tower, possibly a little bit too aggressive. Timbersaw is going to get the kill. Very patient, waiting for the Mana Leak to run out. And now the Lich is going to come right back in again. Level 2 Frost Blast onto RDs won't kill him off. Now Goddamn might be in a little bit of trouble as Ogre Magi is also going to teleport in. Fire Blast is there. Ignite not enough mana. And I don't think they have enough lockdown for this. They have another Frost Blast. Kefka looking for an angle. He won't find it, although the Illuminate is going to fly right through. Keeper the Light is going to kill Timbersaw. Now the coil onto 2. Ogre Magi and Lich are both going to die. And Naga Siren gets to walk away at double digits of HP. Beautiful rotations in from Kompas Gaming.
Yeah, really a very ill-fated rotation from Aftershock. That's going to be a swing of gold equivalent to 1,300 in the favor of Kompas Gaming, gaining 1,000 and losing 320 on the side of Aftershock, and also getting a lot of XP for very little actually used. The puck rotating down here is going to waste very little time and will secure himself the rune bottom. It is going to be Bounty Rune for him. More importantly, filling the bottle. It's an invis up for Slavi as well. Might be able to find a rotation with this one, but currently the puck going to make the first strike. 5-1 for Kompas Gaming this early game. Almost could not go better for them.
Yeah, 5-1. It's hard to top that, and they do have to worry about a Templar Assassin and Razor, who have been pretty much doing whatever the hell they wanted. Basically, all the wins in this game have been localized to the bottom lane, and that's good. I mean, shutting down the Timbersaw, killing off the Lich a couple times is fantastic and all. But there are other heroes that you have to worry about, and arguably more deadly heroes that you have to worry about as well. So, Kompas Gaming, though they are doing very well at the moment, it could certainly get to a point where they feel too comfortable with the position that they're in, and then they try to go up against these Razor and TAs, and that's going to really bite them in the ass. So, I would like to see them try to get kills elsewhere, but I don't really know how realistic that is. The waveform is a large part in their damage output, and now they're looking for a net. It's going to come a little bit too late. The Illuminate is actually going to miss, and RT is taking one too many tower shots, so they're going to back off of that, and it will result in pretty much nothing. A little bit of right-click damage onto the Timbersaw, maybe even an Illuminate, but he's going to Timber Chain away and be just fine. In the meantime, top lane, Gorek dropping pretty low, but it looks like Ogre Magi just a little bit too slow to actually get in range. You need boots on the Ogre Magi really quickly. Opening up with the Fire Blast is pretty much the best way to start an early game gank.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Usually, when I play Ogre, I like getting the boots first, or if not first, very quickly, as soon as you can. Just get those over at the side shop, and it's 8 minutes in. Not having those astray in mid, getting very low the Templar stats, but was able to jaunt towards the high ground, and no more auto attacks going to come from the TA. He will survive. and will be able to bottle up to reasonable amounts of the HP. As well as having 7 stick charges, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, it shows how much power this Templar Assassin has. Just going strong versus the Puck. Has a pretty nice CS advantage as well. PSM on the bottom lane, taking a lot of damage from the Chakram, in fact. He's going to be just fine, but Puck is, we already said, not having the best matchup versus Templar Assassin. At this point, when the Templar Assassin has everything she needs, mainly maxed out Refraction, 2 points in the meld, and she'll only get stronger from here on out. Puck can't really do that much outside of rotations, and I don't think a Keeper of the Light and Naga Siren are really going to be the ones to make rotations in. It's not too impressive, those two ganking. Maybe you can hit an Illuminate, but odds are it's not going to catch a Templar Assassin off guard, and even if it does, Refraction is probably going to get her out of it.
Yeah, more or less. Right now, it's still going to be pretty passive as far as the rotations are concerned. Ogre is going to find himself level 4, puts a point into Bloodlust, does have the boots now, and might be able to find some kills, but I don't know, his lanes aren't the best to gank for. The Puck might be a pretty solid target, although phase shifting, or dodging his Ignite, as well as the Fire Blast, is pretty decent as those animations are fairly telegraphed. We're going to have a Timbersaw that gets himself the Arcane Boot, so his mana problems are more or less going to be stopped. He's going to counter push and go aggressively on Artis. Not really a good chance for him to get that kill. He will put a lot of hurt into the Morphling, however.
5-1, and both teams kind of just chilling. I'm actually kind of surprised that Gorek hasn't teleported down to the bottom lane a single time. He has gone 3 in teleportation and has the 1 Sprout as well, so he's going for a build that indicates he wants to fight very early on, but he just hasn't, so kind of an awkward situation there. It's only a matter of time before they decide to fully commit towards Kefka on the bottom lane. I don't think they know he doesn't have any Whirling Death, but if they catch him without the Whirling Death, they could very easily bring him down, assuming he has Chakram. I mean, now it's a little bit too late for the Chakram, so maybe even this Nature's Prophet build is too late. His teleportation is not really going to be huge, and his Null Talismans are not really going to be doing much.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. They are going to mana link up the Timbersaw, and he's going to completely drain his mana pool, and probably be forced back to base. The Illuminate is going to be off the mark. However, he's going to drop his mana boots, then stick up. He's going to have enough mana for a couple of spells. His Artist is dropping dangerously low. They're not going to be able to find Chakram, but they will land it onto PSM. They do rotate into TP with the Ogre Magi, but aren't able to land any more lockdowns, so everybody's going to walk away safe.
Man, just dancing around this bottom lane. Timbersaw with his reactor armor certainly getting some pretty nice value out of that one. Keeping himself very high on the HP and very difficult to kill as well. They're going to go for the bottom lane. PSM going to take a Fire Blast straight to the face. Chakram as well. No Whirling Death, but a Timber Chain should kill him off. Not quite. 50 HP and PSM trying to get away. Here comes Gorek. Finally jumping in. The Timber Chain will be denied, in fact. Chakram's available. Kefka is going to go down to an Illuminate. Actually, Morphling picking up that one. Now they want more into Jiroji. Ensnare's not up just yet, but they're going to land a coil on the Ogre, and he's going to go right to the very edge of it. Won't snap it just yet, but he will go down in the end regardless. Nature's Prophet finally making his first rotation in, and it's going to get the team 2 kills plus a tower, maybe even more.
Not sure if they're going to fully go towards the next tower. Timbersaw can clear the wave pretty effectively, even at the lower levels. Just a Chakram and a Timber Chain should be enough. He is going to come back down here, but still, KPG continuing to find quite a lot out of this map. Templar Assassin, despite having a really good time in lane, also getting the tower in mid. For herself, Slavi hasn't really done anything with the early start that she's had. Power Treads, as well as now Drums completed. This Templar Assassin needs to make something happen for Aftershock. Currently up top, we're going to be zoned out a little bit by Razor, but doesn't steal anything with that link. Also, another hero that I'd like to see move around a little bit more. He does have the completed mechanism. It's this time for Aftershock to do something with these two heroes that have had really good times in lanes.
They're going for the Turbo Hyper Carry Templar Assassin build. Not going to go for Phase Blink or anything super bursty like that. Just going to go Drums. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Yasha picked up on her, then possibly a Desolator. So she's looking to be super mobile in this game, and she'll be incredibly dangerous at that point, but I don't know. She's kind of just being a dead hero right now. They're going to go for Gorek up on top lane. There's Fire Blast, Ignite's going to bring Gorek down pretty low. Chain Frost as well being thrown into the Sprout. That's going to kill him off. Lich is going to grab that kill, and they might be able to bring down this tower, although I think KPG could definitely defend it if they chose to. But regardless, Gorek is going to die. I really think this Nature's Prophet build is a mistake in this particular game. He's not doing anything with these Null Talismans.
Yeah, he is going to commit fully to the build. Now working towards the Blade Mail. It's, I don't know, kind of a missed opportunity. The Null Talismans could have been working toward a Midas if he does want to play it incredibly greedy, or maybe just save up for a Blink Dagger, Maelstrom, something along those lines. But yeah, for now, Morphling continues to farm up, working towards his Lincoln Sphere. He does have a Midas running throughout this game, so Kompas Gaming are fine, taking this fairly passively. It's in Aftershock's court to make something happen. Puck going to be able to phase shift up to the high ground. There's no way to pursue that one, and Puck's going to be able to walk away.
That's the second time at least the Puck has been able to get away with like that, and it's really the shortcoming of Templar Assassin. If you're going to get the kill on the puck, you probably need support, or you need to have the puck really, really mess up, and, well, that hasn't happened just yet. Neither of those has actually happened. So Templar Assassin, though she is farming extremely well, not able to capitalize with her early game potential. So it is, once again, another wasted opportunity for these two teams. With the Nature's Prophet going for the Null Talisman, as well as Slavi not really doing anything with the amount of damage he could actually put out. And now they're going to smoke up, so possibly they're going to make me eat my words. They're going to rotate down to the bottom lane, and Templar Assassin, if she catches anyone, they might very well be dead, or they could sneak a Roshan. Bloodlust, Refraction, Meld. This is going to be a two-man Roshan attempt. I don't know if they could do this.
I think they can, but it's going to take a whole lot of time, and currently we do have an engagement up in top with the Blinding Light, bouncing Mind Control back into the rest of its enemy team, and he will be brought down. So even if they get this Roshan, it's at the cost of the enemy and Artist with an Invis Rune. This could be huge, although it's an incredibly slow Roshan, and this Invis Rune might wear off before they're actually able to take this. Meld hasn't been applied to Roshan, although it is maxed out. They will be able to take this, although it's going to take them ages. Let's see, is the steal going to come out from the Morphling in time, or is it going to wear out? He doesn't have any teammates inbound as they're going for the tower up in top, and he might be forced to get out of here. Let's see if he can get both. He is going to wait for him over, does a lot of damage. The Aegis is on the ground, picked up by the Templar Assassin. He's going to get bursted down. Fire Blast and the right clicks, will it be enough? The Strength Morph is doing a lot, but it's not going to save him from the Meld. That's going to be a huge botched attempt by KPG. They do not get the tower up in top either, so big wins around for Aftershock as they get the experience, the kill, as well as the Aegis.
Unfortunately, the Morphling's antics not really paying off, but at the same time, in that situation, you have to go for it. Like, I don't care who you are. If you have an opportunity like that, you kind of just have to take your chances. Morphling, unfortunately, couldn't click the Aegis. He even dropped his TP scroll and ended up giving that to the enemy, so that was a little bit awkward. Or maybe he picked it up back up, I don't really know. They were going to take the tower in the end, but still, they could have gotten away with so much more if things were just a little bit different. Mind Control is going to get netted to the floor. Illusion Orb going to fly through, as well as a nice Illuminate will hit nobody, actually, as the Song of the Siren is going to bail Kompas Gaming out. They're going to put Gorik in a little bit of trouble, actually. No, he will be fine. Timber Chain's also going to be canceled by the Song, but here comes Slavi with a jump now. Pops has traps available soon, and Goddamn is going to be in a little bit of trouble potentially. Chakram will fly. Goddamn's going to dodge that one, but the Whirling Death, Timber Chain, Goddamn, dropping very low. Three-man coil, not really going to be doing too much as Kefka going to be chasing forward for whoever he could find. He's going to think about going north, think about going south, ultimately going to go back towards his team, and they're going to make this a 1-for-1 tower trade, taking the Naga Siren as well.
Yeah, it's still in the favor of Aftershock as far as the graphs are concerned, finally getting themselves a net worth advantage and also securing themselves a pretty solid experience advantage. At 4,000 at this point in the game, it's pretty solid for them. Aftershock, this Templar Assassin, her first couple of rotations have worked out for them, although the first one going into the Roshan pit. Blink Dagger is now online for your TA. I think she's going to get hit by the Illuminate, and it's going to clear up a lot of that creep wave, so Slavi's going to eat a little bit of harass, but as the Aegis doesn't actually care that much. Templar Assassin still probably going to be looking for quite a few more kills as she finds a pickoff on the remnant, or replicate, excuse me. It's going to be killed by the tower. Bounty Rune up top, double damage rune down in bottom is where they're going to spawn is up in top, where you're looking to go for Goddamn here as the Fire Blast is going to come through. Now the Ignite as well. Kefka is yet to throw a single spell out. No Timber Chain just yet. There's no trees to go on, and Goddamn's going to be just fine. The TP in from Nature's Prophet will secure her retreat as the runes are secured by either team. Templar Assassin also rotating through, looking for Goddamn, who's already pretty darn low. Blink Meld might be enough if Goddamn sticks around too long, but for now, Slavi's not going to go for it.
Yeah, that was a little bit awkward situation for Kefka. He used Whirling Death. He used Chakram in order to just clear off a couple creeps to try to get in faster because he got blocked up by his Ogre Magi friend. So ultimately, didn't really get many spells at all on that Naga Siren. I don't really know if they could have gotten the kill anyway. Like, even if they landed the entire combination, the Timber Chain, there was no angle there, so they needed that to get the kill, and that just simply wasn't available. So Naga Siren was probably going to be safe one way or another, but unfortunately, Aftershock didn't even get the opportunity to see whether or not that was the case. They have this Aegis ticking, and Templar Assassin looking to be a little bit aggressive, possibly down in the bottom lane, but I don't know if they could actually get anything done here. They're going to chase down and kill another replicate from the Morphling. Slavi's going to rotate in. Can't kill off the Morphling as Templar Assassin, or at least it'll be very difficult to do so. They're just going to go for a straight push, it seems. They need to lock down RTs if they're going to get him. They're going to whack him once, but he's going to TP away, safe and sound.
Yeah, completely fine. The only way that they can cancel the TPs is Ogre Magi with his stun or a Lich Chain Frost if they really need to stop it down, and it's just not enough to keep the Morphling in place. Honestly, they're going to need a Scythe at some point in this game, but there's just not a great carrier. Timbersaw eventually might pick one up, as top lane is also being pushed by Nature's Prophet, and will repel this push pretty successfully, especially through Illuminate spam coming out from PSM. Templar Assassin potentially looking for a turn, going to throw up the Refraction, then just back off with the rest of the team. Aftershock's aggression has been completely stopped.
Yeah, so they're still going to want to be aggressive since they have the Aegis, and it might be over in the mid lane where they'll do so. Kefka's just going to clear the creep waves. Kompas Gaming have been pretty good at just avoiding these fights for the most part. I mean, they're pushing up top, pushing down mid, and defending a push over on the bottom lane as well. Yet no real action has happened throughout any of those. Kompas Gaming have been poking and prodding, but they've been retreating promptly in order to make sure that they don't get picked off unnecessarily. And that just means that they're going to have more time to farm. Goddamn is holding on to power treads, also 1,000 gold, so this Naga Siren might be making the transition pretty early into a very heavy hyper carry. RT is also with the Hand of Midas is going to be farming very happily as well. So Kompas Gaming looking to take this one late, and with the Timbersaw as well as the Templar Assassin, as Aftershock you kind of want to have a nice advantage earlier on. As late game, you're still going to be relevant, just not as much so.
Yeah. No, I think the problem that's going to continuously come up for Aftershock is their lack of lockdown. They just don't have anything to keep this Morphling in place, especially if they throw any of their spells to try to stop another one of the mobile heroes, namely Puck or Nature's Prophet, moving around the map, and it's just going to be so difficult for them. Top lane is pushing in pretty heavily. It's going to be a lot of creeps, probably given the way of the Puck, just a loser orb, and now right-clicks down. We'll secure a lot of gold for them there. Bottom lane, the push is kind of coming out from Kompas Gaming, although they're not fully committing, just going to spam it down with Illuminate, have Morphling clean up the right clicks, or the last hits, excuse me. But yeah, that about sums up the state of the game. Both teams are playing fairly passively, and I think this is kind of how games are going to go in this new patch, where teams are just going to be very cautious about throwing away any lead that they might have and just play it incredibly late. Artis not going to be tagged by that Chakram, is going to be just fine. The slow is being applied from the tower, and will delay things. The Frost Armor is pretty solid, is on the backlines. We do have a jump in onto PSM. The Meld Strike 1, 2, 3 is all that the Templar Assassin is going to need to get that squishy support. TP away from Gork will be able to make it alive. No Fire Blast range for the Ogre Magi, not close enough. Even if he was, the animation probably would have been too long. Still a pick off for them as they look for up top. Stray should be able to get out of here, especially since the coil is broken by the Razor. We'll be able to jaunt to his orb and back off safely. TP attempt from Goddamn will also succeed, and there's just no way that Aftershock can chase these heroes down. TPs are just so important for Kompas Gaming.
Unfortunately, the Lich both times is just a little bit too far away and was unable to get that Chain Frost out to get that mini stun. RT's also manages to backdoor the mid lane tower, so gets that one for his team. Nice little tower advantage now going the way of Kompas Gaming, as they have a 1 tower advantage. Mind Control potentially in a little bit of trouble, being stalked by an invisible Morphling once again, though. I don't know if they could actually get much done here. They're instead going to change their mind and go for the Lich. Not much damage going to be thrown towards Gorak, even though Chain Frost was used. Lich is going to go down. Now Gorak is going to be worked on by Mind Control. This is going to be a 1-for-1 trade, although Mind Control making it a 2-for-1 potentially. Will find Stray with the whips, and he will bring him down. In the meantime, the Courier also was brought down. Nothing on the Courier. So it looks like RT's did use his invisibility rune for that, yet still it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Aftershock by quite a large margin, with Mind Control cleaning up, plus getting a kill on 2 cores.
And now pick out PSM down in bottom, 3-for-1 plus the Courier, definitely in the favor of Aftershock, especially since the Courier had nothing on it. 3,500 gold currently sitting in Templar Assassin's pockets. I'm going to assume she'll go for a BKB as her next item, just to make sure that there's nothing on the enemy team that can stop her. And, well, no, it's going to be something completely different. Still built out of Mithril Hammers, it is going to be a Desolator from the Templar Assassin. It's going to blow up this Naga Siren as well as the Keeper of Light, and not to mention the Puck, very quickly. All heroes are fairly squishy to the physical damage coming out from her, and even the Nature's Prophet not going to be immune from that. Although with the Blade Mail, it'll keep him safe just having that activate as well as TP out. Artis currently farming very aggressively on the enemy side of the map, not going to be spotted out by any of their wards, and will be able to successfully do so. Although if anybody pokes their face over, Artis is going to drop. Timbersaw also picking up the Bloodstone, has that completed a pretty solid time for himself at about 20 minutes in is when he picked that up, a little bit later than that.
Now with the Bloodstone and the Desolator, or soon-to-be Desolator, Aftershock should be looking to make this game end soon, or at the very least put aggression onto Kompas Gaming, because they should see that the Naga Siren is going for this carry-ish build. She's going for a Yasha. This is no longer going to be a real support Naga Siren, so she's going to be transitioning into that damage role. They're all going to smoke up, and Aftershock, yes, they are going to be going for the super active aggression play. They're going to open up onto RTs first of all, but they can't find him. Multicast and the meld damage. Holy crap, they can find him. Yeah, they got him. Somehow they got vision of him with the blinking forward Slavi, and then multicast. It's going to do a lot of damage to the Morphling, and hopefully Lincoln Sphere will save him from that in the future, but as it stands right now, he has no chance to survive that.
Yeah, and it's really sad. He had the money to have the Lincoln Sphere before that death. So he could have survived. I don't know, it's kind of unlucky for him. If they didn't have the multicast, I think the Morphling would have survived, but still a lot of burst damage coming up from Aftershock that we just didn't see previously. Goddamn is going to be tagged by the trap. He is going to stop the net being thrown out by the meld. Songs aren't going to be drawn out by the Naga Siren, so even if that's all she wrote and Aftershock are not going to get anything after the fact, it's still a win for them. As well, Slavi, he doesn't have the Aegis anymore. He's going to be playing pretty aggressively. They have detection on the ground. They're going to find themselves a kill in the Templar Assassin, or will they? Mech comes out from the Razor, the Illuminate, as well as one more auto attack is going to be enough. Lich Chain Frost, thrown away Stray, as well as a Chakram. They'll find another kill. Now jumping aggressively forward, Kefki looking for Artists. I don't think they can find any of these other kills. Mind Control is aggressively on the front line. It's going to be bounced back under the tower. Also netted down. Artist taking a lot of down shove away for him forward on the other side of this fight. Looking for Mind Control is Zeroji. Mind Control might fall to the right clicks, and Gork will be able to snag that one as Timber Chain forward. Replicate away is going to keep the Morphling safe. 2 for 2 is the trade for now. We do have Mana Leak going the way of Kefka. Now he's just going to be focused down, looking for the Timber Chain. It's going to be denied yet again by that Sprout. Mana Leak is going to wear off, and I think he's going to be able to survive with another Timber Chain, as well as the Bloodstone to continuously get his mana back up. And the Urn from the Lich is also going to secure things. Gork is TPing in, looking for anybody they can find. The Sprout is going to be broken immediately by the Chakram. The Blade Mail came out a little too low, and Kefka going to be able to bounce to another tree, and I think he's going to survive after all of that. Picking up 2 Bloodstone charges for him, and now the Blink Dagger for the Timber side. He's going to be a pretty happy Timber, although I'm not sure what the official numbers for that fight were. It's fairly even across the board.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed my chance to click on the fight recap button. Thought it was going to be up there for a little while longer. My apologies, guys. Still getting used to the new patch, so I actually don't know the numbers of that either, but Aftershock, they played the super aggressive role I really expected them to play, and now the Desolator's up on the Templar Assassin. The real winner is going to be that Timbersaw, who has gone for the Blink Dagger, so no longer are Sprouts going to be enough to hold this guy in, and he's going to be going pretty aggressively. Really, that type of fight, the run and gun, is really what the Timbersaw wants to be fighting like, because that means he gets more value out of his cooldowns as well as his regeneration through the reactive armor and Bloodstone both. So Aftershock, they took an okay fight, but although I don't really think it was good enough for them. RT is still farming the Morphling, and Naga Siren is still farming as well. So if Aftershock are going to be playing like this, they have to take much better fights in the future.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. For now, it is Aftershock that have the advantage, at least as far as damage is concerned. They're going to keep the aggression up with the smoke, but it's Troy going to the Roshan pit again. This Roshan's going to be incredibly fast if they do go for it. I'm not sure the Kompas Gaming know what's going on. Timbersaw currently pushing down bottom. Mid is pushing onto their side of the map, and nobody's farming up. So that might become suspicious, but it's still far enough to the tower to give them enough time to take this Roshan, I think. Especially since Kompas Gaming are close enough. It's a pretty risky move, as there is a Naga Siren Song in the enemy team, but they'll be able to take this one uncontested.
Between Bloodlust and all the minus armor from Slavi, they're going to very easily take this Roshan, and now they're going to look for a mid lane. They're going to open up onto PSM, he's going to force staff his way out, get the Mana Leak onto Kefka. He has to stop moving, and that might buy enough time for the Keeper of the Light to escape, although I don't really know if it's going to be enough. They're going to drop the Coil and the Song of the Siren. A little bit of miscommunication there as Stray still in a little bit of trouble. Multicast 3 times, and now Stray is in a ton of trouble. He's actually going to go down to the Templar Assassin off of this one, so they're going to get a pick there. At the same time, Kefka looking for Gorak up on the top lane. The Timber Chain chase is going to be the real deal, as Lich is going to get warded away by Arties. This Lich doesn't actually, this Morphling though, doesn't actually do that much damage, so he can't get the kill on the Lich, and still Kefka going to town onto Arties, but unfortunately for the Timbersaw, also just doesn't do enough damage. In the meantime, we have Slavi chasing down and killing off the Naga Siren. Will barely manage to let the Keeper of the Light slip away because of the Mana Leak, which is being a pretty nice tool. But overall, Aftershock getting 2 kills all around the map, getting a nice little jump in experience as well as gold, and well, with the Aegis still in tow, they might even just go for this straight tower push. With the Aghanim Scepter Razor, they will in fact go for it, and they'll take it pretty easily.
Yeah, as well as minus armor from the Desolator, it's going to be a pretty easy push for them. As you said, they are going to TP back in Gork, and they are going to defend this a little bit better than I thought they would. It was just the Razor and the Templar Assassin, so it's going to be enough to repel them. TA going all the way back to base, currently sitting on another 3,600 gold on top of her Desolator. It's going to be a crit, so just going full glass cannon. I'm not sure if I like this choice coming out from the Templar Assassin. But even so, she's going to blow up the enemy team, and they just want to get kills as fast as possible without having to worry about any lockdown of their own. If they're already dead, I suppose it doesn't matter.
Well, she reconsidered, so she actually sold that Chrysalis, and now holding on to 3,600 gold still. Could still be a damage item. Maybe she's going to go for Demon Edge first, something like that. And it looks like she actually will do so. Maybe even an Eagle Song? No, a Hyperstone.
Ooh.
Assault Cuirass? It has to be, right?
I would assume as much. The minus armor from Riptide being ignored from that, and the right clicks from Morphling, as well as the Nature's Prophet. It's pretty nice to have that extra armor on your team. I don't know. It might be Mjolnir. It's not the worst item for a Templar Assassin, but honestly, I think if you're going for just pure damage, the Daedalus, or Chrysalis into Daedalus is your better bet. Very peculiar item choice. Coming up from this Templar Assassin, I was expecting something more in the defensive lines. Probably just BKB and then go into the next damage item. We'll have to see how it's going to work out, or what it's actually going to be.
Yeah, even though Assault Cuirass is an okay item on Templar Assassin, there are definitely better items to get. There are definitely worse items to get. She's now going to chase down PSM, who's going to try TP away. Blinding Light, run away. How good is your luck, PSM? Looks like it's going to be 2 misses, so it will be good enough to let him escape that situation. But yeah, Hyperstone, it's got to be the Assault Cuirass, and at that point, although the armor is certainly nice for the entire team, Templar Assassin is a hero that just inherently needs health more so than armor, just because she already does have a lot of base armor. It's going to be armor overkill, and the minus armor is really what she's getting it for, plus the attack speed. I don't know if I like this item pickup. I think I would have liked to see, as you said, something like a crit, or something just a little bit more direct. A crit or BKB. That's direct in both ways.
Yeah, fair enough. Currently up top, we do have Kefka playing very aggressively. It's very unlikely they'll be able to get this kill, and just keep away from Artis will keep himself safe. Yeah, no way to cancel that. Ogre Magi is not even close, and neither is the Lich. Yeah. I think Timbersaw's next item is probably going to be a Scythe, but he did pick up the Boots of Travel after getting up that Blink Dagger, so he's taking a lot of deviations from that. They just need any way to cancel teleports, and we might not even see an Aghanim Scepter on this Timbersaw throughout the entire game. Very interesting choice for this Naga Siren. Goddamn. Gets himself a Blade Mail.
Well, it could potentially return a lot of damage when you're talking about multicasts, as well as meld refraction hits from the Templar Assassin. That being said, you already have a Yasha, so I think if you were going to go for the Blade Mail build, or a Blade Mail build on the Naga Siren, you probably would have gone for something like Drums, and then Heaven's Halberd, and then Blade Mail, something around those lines. But it's kind of now in the middle ground between damage and utility, as they're going to go in for Zeroji. He's just going to teleport out, although no, Song and Siren plus an Adaptive Strike is both going to cancel it. Now Zeroji's pretty much forfeit. The question is, can they get the Lich? I don't think they're going to even try, as from the back end we have an invisible Templar Assassin with an Aegis ready to pounce. If she gets any spill damage at all, this could be devastating. There is no True Sight here. And, well, she's not going to pull the trigger just yet. Down the Ogre Magi, maybe they just don't want to risk it. But she could, realistically, two-shot this Keeper of the Light, so... yeah, oh, she's going to get spotted. She walks right into a Sentry. Now Slavi, this might be the Aegis. She's going to get Force Staffed or actually pushed back out with the Blinding Light, trying to kill off Arties, but that's going to be the Aegis. Now Chain Frost is going to fly. Will not bounce much. PSM's going to drag it away, and now Slavi's back up online. They're going to kill off Stray and almost kill off Arties. Once again, the TP is going to be backbreaking for Aftershock. They only get one off of that. They use the Aegis. I guess they get the Tower Deny, which is okay, but that should have been so much better for Aftershock, even though the Templar Assassin did get jumped.
Yeah, especially since the Dream Coil as well as the Naga Siren song were dropped before that engagement actually happened, and without those big cooldowns, Kompas Gaming, their fighting potential is definitely neutered by quite a bit. Aftershock, still, I don't know, I'd probably consider a Yule Scepter on your Ogre Magi, just anything to cancel his TPs. Gorik also going to TP out in the face of Kefka. There's nothing that they can do about it. So yeah, it's going to be continuing the passive game. It is going to be an Assault Cuirass on your Templar Assassin, completing that, now sending in TP Scroll out to herself. The minus armor is going to be very significant, and it'll amplify the damage, and down and bottom, they do find themselves to pick off on the Razor. Didn't actually see that happening, but I think they just netted her down, and in between 4 enemy heroes, it was too much. Kefka did show his face at the end of it, but that was about all she wrote. Templar Assassin is jumping into the fray, and with Kefka and company, they might be able to find a pretty good fight. As they do Timber Chain across it, it's not really going to hit much of anything, but goddamn, it's going to be so dead, as he's brought down by the Templar Assassin. Now focused on to Gorik. He doesn't actually care about the Blade Mail with the refraction up. Gorik is going to be brought down. I think one more attack is going to be disjointed by the Blink Dagger, and I think he's going to survive. TPing out, he's going to make it out alive. Templar Assassin is mana leaked up. Nobody else has died in the backlines, but that might change with the Lich being brought down very low by Stray, but now so is Kefka. Artist going to be able to relocate out of there. The Desolator hit is going to chase him, but I think that's going to be disjointed, and he's going to heal up too much anyway. As Stray trying to get out of here, 4-staff Illusory Orb, going to jaunt to the low ground, going to bump into Kefka, but that's not where the fight's actually going to break out. In fact, I think it's completely dropped down. A very hectic and spread out engagement is going to slightly favor Aftershock.
This game has had so much action, but so few kills, mostly because everyone's just teleporting away, which is so weird to see. Kompas Gaming have been a little bit better about stopping those TPs, but Templar Assassin, though she's doing a truckload of damage, isn't actually getting as much done as I really would have expected, just because she's not able to get that final last right click. Like, almost got it on the Nature's Prophet, was denied, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Keeper of the Light. The Blinding Light is actually pretty legit. Like, 80% miss chance is no joke. Whoever's wanting to do right click damage on the Aftershock side is going to need to pick up an MKB. Otherwise, they're just not going to get anything done. Or a BKB, I suppose, would also be serviceable, but either way, the Templar Assassin is going to get absolutely demolished if she gets the Blinding Light. So they have to make sure to keep that Templar Assassin, keep the Templar Assassin either away from the Keeper Light or just kill him off first. And either way, it's a pretty potent threat, this 80% miss chance.
Yeah, it really is. It's another instance where we're seeing this Assault Cuirass, I don't know, kind of biting Slavi in the behind here. It's not really doing that much. It's amplifying his damage, which is nice. It's not enough to really warrant it. Honestly, the MKB would have been wonderful for him, just giving him another way to cancel his TPs, as well as avoiding the Blinding Light, or just the BKB. I think you're a safer bet. It's hardly ever a miss on a Templar Assassin.
Also, the MKB will just give him a way to stop
Song
TPs.
up top? Yeah. TP up top, coming out from the Timber Saw. They can't really go for anything, but neither can the Radiant team, so it's just kind of a wash here. The Song is going to be put down on cooldown for 2 minutes. It is level 11 for the Naga Siren, or level 2 ultimate, I should say. So goddamn, it's going to have that before too long, but still not insignificant. Song for a TP is a trade.
That was a really weird song, actually. Like, she just went forward, used the song, and then did nothing. And there were no allies in the area, so it's not like they decided to not do anything. They couldn't do anything. So Song now out, and that means they're going to pull the trigger onto Stray. Lots of burst damage. Puck is going to dodge a lot of it for the phase shift, but I don't know if he's going to be completely okay. He'll blink off to the right side. Ignite's still taking him down. Going to drop the coil onto mind control. He was going to try to escape, but if they just lay the Chakram down, he will not get away. There it is. Puck's going to go down. RT's going to throw the E-Blade onto Zeroji, but this Ogre is mad tanky. Going to blink forward for another stun onto Arties after breaking Lincoln Sphere. Mind control now onto the front lines. Waveform up from Arties, though. Going to try to kill off Zeroji as Gorak also teleporting in. Will kill off the Ogre in the end, and Arties still alive with Strength Morph and Mind Control. Kefka, where's the rest of Aftershock? They're both in the Roshan pit? Okay. They're fighting this 3v5, and actually Aftershock doing a lot better than I thought, but hell, if the Templar Assassin Lich was there, that would have been an easy cleanup of so many Kompas Gaming heroes.
Yeah, I think it is going to be an Aegis for Templar Assassin, as there's not a whole lot that Kompas Gaming can do to defend against this. It's not the fastest Roshan by any means, but it is going to be Cheese going the way of Aftershock. A very peculiar engagement. I would have thought that they'd just straight up back off if they were going 3v5. Templar Assassin does get the Aegis. Cheese on the ground currently, and will remain there for the foreseeable future until Timbersaw is able to make his way into the Roshan pit. Blink, pick up the Cheese. There you go. Timbersaw is going to be working towards his Hex, and he didn't die during that last engagement, so it's not all bad for Aftershock, and you do have the complete BKB on the Templar Assassin. They have a lot of tools that they'd like to have to fight, but still, Kompas Gaming finding more than I thought they would. It's just a very peculiar game. This net worth graph has not made a significant advantage for either team throughout the entirety of it. Currently slightly in the favor of Aftershock, but after updates from the Roshan, it's going to be negligible. Experience is in the favor of Aftershock, but it actually doesn't matter. As nice as their heroes are with their experience, they've kind of hit the peak on the Timbersaw at level 16, 21 in the Templar Assassin, and their other heroes just aren't getting very much in that department.
Kompas Gaming still looking for picks as they're going to run into the Lich. They also have Morphling in tow. The shotgun is going to be incredibly strong as he's completely morphed into the agility, and Myomi doesn't actually know that this is happening. Gorak's probably just going to take this kill by himself. Doesn't need any help, but here comes Kefka. Lots of damage onto Gorak. He's going to make this a 1-for-1 in the end. Mega kill going the way of Timbersaw. Actually, a lot of gold for him, and Zeroji. Looks like he did get the full force of the Morphling shotgun combination, but Ogre is Ogre, and he is just so survivable. He's Bracer to survive, and that's about it, but just the naturally high strength growth and inherent strength of the Ogre means that he will survive the great deal of this damage from the Morphling, and it's been relevant. The Ogre has been sticking around for these fights a lot longer than ordinarily a support hero would. Like, if it was a Vengeful Spirit, no, she would have been so dead so often in these fights, but they're going to go in for Mind Control. E-Blade combination going to bring Mind Control pretty low, but he's going to survive for now. Illuminate is not going to kill him off as he's going to go through the Mana Leak and run away. Artie's going to give chase though. Mind Control dropping pretty low, but the Eye of Storm also doing a lot of damage to Artie's as well. Puck is going to take the kill on the Razor, and where is the Aftershock team? Where's the Templar Assassin? She's over in the mid lane trying to take a tower. I feel like Aftershock should just be reinforcing and fighting right now, because trying to backdoor these towers or trying to sneak these towers seems unnecessarily risky, especially with all these TPs coming in. Here comes Goddamn. Blink Out is going to keep the Templar Assassin safe for now, as Stray going to fly wide with his orb. But at the end of the day, it is going to be just a kill going the way of Kompas Gaming, and, well, no substantial tower damage done on the bottom lane. It's a little bit, in the mid lane, it's a little bit, but no tower doesn't actually give them anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems that Aftershock are kind of on two different pages. Like, they split up their team by quite a bit and don't actually accomplish anything. They try to fight with the rest of their team while the Templar Assassin's kind of in her own little world. Artist is going to be split up by Chakram from the Timbersaw. There's no way he can kill this, but he might as well try as hard as he can. Artist is forced to strength more for a little bit, but it doesn't actually bother him much. So yeah, that's going to sum it up 17-17. It feels like Kompas Gaming are in the lead, but the numbers really aren't agreeing with me that much. Yeah, it's just so weird to watch these two teams fight. We do have a Scythe now picked up on the puck, so that's a pretty big leap of power. If they're able to pick off the Templar Assassin before she picks or drops the BKB, it could be pretty huge. Then again, she's pretty darn survivable. Also, speaking of Texas, Timbersaw gets his up, and this is arguably a bigger one. Timbersaw now has a way to cancel TPs as well as keep people in place, so the Templar Assassin and Timber can get their load of damage off. Although the window for Aftershock to really hit their stride and get that damage off effectively is closing very quickly.
You know, I actually think I kind of understand this Templar Assassin Assault Cuirass pickup now, because clearly he's not going to be fighting with his team. That's not what he's in about. He wants to just take towers, and Assault Cuirass is a great item for taking towers. I don't know if the minus armor is better or worse than just a straight up Daedalus or something like that, but hell, it makes the creeps attack hit harder onto those towers. So Slavi going for a tower destroying build? I don't know. Either way, it's like Templar Assassin. You either gotta fight with your team or get towers. If you do both, you're not doing anything with your huge amount of net worth. They're gonna smoke up and try to look for the Nature's Prophet. Unfortunately for them, they're not gonna find it. But who is gonna find someone? Kefka probably. No, he's actually going to respect the Keeper of the Light potential to pull in some allies. So he's gonna blink out of there and continue farming. This game, 40 minutes in, and I certainly hope this isn't indicative of the patch, how it's going to flow in the future, because I really don't like these long drawn-out poking and prodding games. I feel like Aftershock could have very easily pulled the trigger much earlier and probably taken, at the very least, these other tier 2 towers.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. This game, it feels like it's unnecessarily long. As nice as it is to see a game that's close, it still doesn't feel that great. Aghanim Scepter pop by Mind Control. They're going to go for this tier 2 tower up top, although it doesn't look like they're fully going to commit. They're just going to poke and prod and hope that something sticks. They do get the net onto the Templar Assassin. She's also scythed up. Slavi going to take a decent amount of damage as they jump in with the Dream Coil from the puck. Going to catch out 3. Nagasar and Song going to delay things as BKB pop by Slavi is going to turn onto Gorik, but he's not taking a lot of damage in return. Works pretty darn tanky as they get the Lich, and now on the back lines, Roji and company. There's going to get a multicast onto PSM. PSM taking a decent amount of damage. GP away from Mind Control. He'll be able to make it out alive. The Ogre's not going to be so lucky as he's brought down by the puck. Kefka, as well as Slavi, are still being pursued, although it's only half-hearted. 2 kills going the way of KPG, but then again, it is 2 supports for the Nature's Prophet. Slight lead for Kompas Gaming, although they aren't able to get a map objective off of it, so it's not that huge.
Yeah, it's a rather minor fight going either way. Templar Assassin, as well as the Razor and Timbersaw, all escaped with their lives, so no huge core pick-off from the Kompas Gaming side. Really just the Lich and Ogre who were unlikely to survive that fight anyway, so Mind Control is potentially in a little bit of trouble, but here comes Kappa with the sheep in onto Stray. Can they burst down this hero? It's gonna be so easy. And the shotgun goes away. Templar Assassin eats the whole thing up with a refraction charge. Not sure if they're gonna want to chase down Artis, but I think they definitely can if they wanted to. Templar Assassin is just gonna go strong. Artis is gonna hand him Midas before he goes down, expecting a death of his own. but he's strength morphing, and he is very durable. Slavi is very persistent, though, and he's going to keep going. This is the death of the Morphling. Templar Assassin showing how much damage she could actually put out once she decides to fight, annihilating that Morphling, going to get an unstoppable streak. Took a little bit longer, because it is a Morphling, of course, but that's 3,700 gold in her pocket, and that's a really nice item for the future. Kefka also chasing down Goddamn. I don't really think he get this one. Sheepstick isn't really doing much, although the damage is going to be pretty high. Chain misses, and does have support coming in. The Ogre Magi Ignite. It is going to fly. Here's the Blink Blink Fire Blast. No multicast. Goddamn, still with that haste rune. Needs another Blink Chakram. Timber Chain Chakram. Not going to do it. Just short. Naga Siren's going to get back to the base, and suddenly, Aftershock, they're in between a Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower. Kefka going to drain all of his mana, trying to get away. Has to cheese if he wants to escape this one. He's going to get hexed up, and then netted to the floor, and then beaten down, but he's still alive because reactive armor is balanced. He's going to get multicast of the Bloodlust and then run away. Still hasn't used the cheese yet, and I don't believe it. He's actually going to survive. In the meantime, middle lane, it's in full breach with Mind Control and Slavi doing so much damage to these towers because of this Assault Cuirass and the Aghanim Scepter on Mind Control. They're both getting hit with the coil, but Kefka off to the side is going to annihilate the Keeper of Light. Now the mid lane, they're going to go for the Raxes as well. Morphling has a buyback, doesn't really want to use it since he's only 10 seconds off, but they are going to lose the mid Raxes. They might even lose just a little bit more with the amount of minus armor they're putting onto this tower. Yeah, they're going to lose the Tier 3, although, well, maybe not. Song of the Siren is going to slow them down, and Eye of Storm will not continue through this one. But the Tier 3 will go down. Morphling's back up. Without the Keeper of the Light, I don't know if Kompas Gaming can actually defend this wholeheartedly. Gorak going to jump forward for Kefka. Getting a hex on that Timbersaw, but he's taking very little damage. Still has the cheese, and he'll use it and turn around onto Gorak. In the meantime, the left side of the fight, Slav with the BKB, doing a lot of damage to everyone, but it's forced to back out for it now. Mind Control still trying to go after that set of Raxes, but they've already taken in the melee ones, and that's the one that hurts. Aftershock, they take 1.5 sets of Raxes, and they get out scot-free. Huge wins for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any other way to put it. Just like that, the game is a completely different one. As soon as the graphs update, it's just a downward spiral for Kompas Gaming. Aftershock getting a very substantial lead. They've had the experience lead for the majority of this game, and it's going to get even worse. BKB now in Mind Control. Your next item for the Templar Assassin, whatever it's going to be huge. 6,000 gold, and the Templar Assassin could buy pretty much anything that she wants. I'd expect MKB, maybe, Daedalus. If she just wants to hit that much harder, I don't know, I'm not sure if it actually matters. Slavi, no matter what it is, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't really think there's anything else that'll help her take down those buildings as far as minus armor is concerned. Unfortunately, Medallion doesn't work like that, which would be a pretty sweet item if it did. I think it would actually be still kind of balanced. It'll be a great item, but I don't know. Me just thinking out loud. PSM's going to run straight into Kefka, force-staff his way out. Kefka's suddenly surrounded by a whole boatload of heroes. He does have the mana leak on him, dropping a lot of mana. In fact, Slavi now going to get put into that ethereal form. The net is not going to happen from Goddamn, as the refraction charges from Slavi are going to be burned down, but now Stray's going to be the one who's going to get picked off first. Coil onto 3. Not really doing much of anything. Maomi's got to watch out for the Morphling. Got to get back into the song, keep yourself safe. But here comes an Illuminate. Will connect onto 3. Do some pretty nice damage to everyone, but not do too much damage to anyone in particular. Dyer's Courier also going to get picked off once again. I think it was a Templar Assassin Illusion that managed to bring it down. Or, yeah, it was the Morphling Replicate, rather. And, well, it's going to be a Courier in exchange for the Puck. Puck has been dying so very often in these fights, and off of that, it's going to be an Aegis as well. Mind Control is going to grab the Aegis, and someone's going to grab the cheese. The Lich has double gem for some reason. They're going to go for Gorak at this exact same time. It's not going to happen, although Kefka can get the sheep off. Yes, he will get the sheep off, and Gorak is going to go down. 9 times out of 10 you're safe when you pull a stunt like that, but this is just one of those times.
Yeah. Slavi is going to be going for Butterfly next, going to have it whenever he gets to the nearest side shop or goes back to base. Aghanim Scepter now on the Timbersaw. Not sure how impactful this item is going to be as far as how it's actually going to impact the game and who's going to win or not, but it's going to do a boatload of damage, and with 19 Bloodstone charges, this Timbersaw is going to have all of the mana to blow, and he's going to clear creep waves that much faster, and I don't know, just be really hard for Kompas Gaming to deal with. If this Naga Siren was getting more carry-style items rather than the Blade Mail, as well as the Heaven's Halberd, maybe there was more hope for Kompas Gaming, and maybe if the Nature's Prophet had a better way of pushing or fighting. He kind of has this hybrid build going on. It's not really doing much for Kompas Gaming. I'm not sure if they have what it takes to come back in this game, although there's still definitely a chance. Let's see how these next couple of fights are going to break down for them. Currently, Aftershock have made up for pretty much all of the ground that they were kind of wish-washy in the early portions of the game. I'm not sure if that made any sense at all. Tier 2 tower down in bottom is going to fall in the favor of Aftershock. A very easy tower for them to take, and even more gold.
Bloodlust on Templar Assassin. That is terrifying. She is pretty much 6-slotted at this point. In fact, she is literally 6-slotted at this point. I would still like to see a MKB from her, but it's a little bit too late for that perhaps. Maybe ship the Desolator. They're going to just go for the tier 3 tower. Mind Control is getting awkwardly pushed down to the south. He has a Heart, though, and an Aegis, so he doesn't really have a care in the world. Slavi's getting hit by half the shotgun, going to get dropped pretty low, and doesn't have any life steal. There's an H Prophet Wrath, actually. Get a kill off the TA, instantly buying back into this game. Needs to teleport straight in. She will do so. In the meantime, Mind Control and Zeroji both dropping pretty low, but Mind Control has an Aegis. Here comes Slavi once again. Will not kill off the Morphling, and he's not going to get much done because of that Blinding Light, but now the BKB is up. Gorak trying to teleport out within his Sprout, not going to happen. He's going to be wailed upon by everyone. Although he will get away at 80 HP, Slavi and the BKB trying to kill off Goddamn. It's not going to happen. The BKB not long enough. Kefka in the back end of the fight, also in potentially a little bit of trouble. Has a suicide available. He's going to have to use it. Although Timber Chain out, he's still alive with the mech, I believe, saving him at the nick of time. Kefka is going to live. Mind Control still at full HP, is going to get netted to the floor. He does have Slavi potentially to jump right back in, and, well, Kefka's going to be the one to jump in straight, taking so much damage from the double chakrams. That's going to be the death of the Timbersaw, healing back everyone from Aftershock by a huge amount. Mind Control still pretty much have it full, as is Slavi. They've taken down the range set of Raxes, and now RT is going to land half the shotgun on Templar Assassin, do literally no damage. They're going to get another multicast onto Gorak, bringing him pretty low, but they want the Raxes. And despite the defense of Kompas Gaming, I don't think they're going to be able to hold. Slavi's doing too much damage. RT is playing with Kefka in the back end of the fight. Blinding Light is fantastic at defending your Raxes, but it can only do so much. PSM going to take a Fire Blast, and, well, double Chakram, and suddenly PSM not looking too good. Slavi's going to blink forward, try to go for Gorak. Blade Mail not going to help him nearly enough, although it might help him survive. No, it won't. Where's the Morphling? He is in the fountain. That's going to be complete Mega Creeps, and that's going to be game.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair way to say it. Although in the early portions of that fight, Aftershock lost a lot of ground as far as gold is concerned with the buybacks that they were forced to spend. It doesn't matter. At the end, it is them that are taking the enemy ancient. It's GG called out by Artis. Kompas Gaming losing this. I didn't think it would go this way, especially if it went late. I thought that they'd have a much better chance of actually fighting up against the enemy team, but it just didn't work out that way. Once you lose your first set of racks, and your first 2 sets of racks for that matter, it just gets so much harder to play the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they didn't get any Roshan, and they couldn't even contest it. If they fought for the Aegis and the cheese a little bit harder, then maybe they would have had a better chance in winning this game, but they just let that go to Aftershock every single time, and that means that Aftershock are going to advance, and that also means, guys, this is going to be the end of our day of Dota, and, well, it's going to be an okay game to end on. If you enjoyed the cast, then please be sure to hit that follow button, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.com/HeflaTV as well. YouTube.com/HeflaMilk is where you're going to find the VOD for this. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Grandis V. Do you have anything else to say, man?
Not really. GG to both teams, and thanks for watching.
Alright, guys. See you later. We're going to call it GG.